We're recording.
Well, we are now. I'm not stupid. I can see that it took you a second.
So should we actually start now?
Well,
I mean,
hi, and welcome to No Mustard Allowed, our badly named podcast.
Excuse you. I love this name.
Anyways,
it's great and silly and stupid, and I love it.
Well, anyways, I'm Jack Melvin, and this is my co-host.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make up a fake name for me.
This is my co-host Joel. Apparently, he doesn't remember his own name. I don't blame him.
No, dang it, you haven't seen. We should. There's another podcast that I like that they did an episode by episode watch of a show. Like they watched an episode and they would have an hour long podcast about each episode, and I kind of want to steal that idea and do that on a show called Psych. And
right.
one of the running jokes in that is that the main characters like make up fake names for each other, and it's really funny. Anyway, that'll be.
Are you implying that my last name isn't Melvin?
Maybe.
Have you seen my birth certificate?
I have not. I feel like I should see that one day, though.
In case you guys can't tell from our very clear conversation, we're here to talk about The Little Shop of Horrors.
The second greatest musical ever made.
Greatest musical ever made.
The greatest horror comedy ever made.
Then again, I've only seen like 5 musicals.
I've seen more musicals. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, Joel here is the big musical guy. I never really grew up with them, so.
Yeah, I have on my Letterboxd account, which everyone is welcome to check out. My username is JC Neary.
Thought we were saving this to the end, but I'm also on Letterboxd now.
Yeah,
with a small watch list of 1,154 movies to watch.
You added another one while I was gone?
Well, let me check. Which one did I add? I added Room.
Oh, that's right.
Which is a recommendation from a friend. I'll plan to watch that soon.
Who will
hopefully
have on the podcast.
If he might not actually think it, he might feel embarrassed to be on here. I'm already embarrassed to be on here, but you know. But I'm under Ramos_Cruz on Letterboxd.
We'll put all that in the description. We don't have to.
I find my opinions to be good on movies.
I've ranked Little Shop of Horrors as number 3 in my favorite movie musicals of all time. Because La La Land is my favorite movie of all time.
Yep. And
Singin' in the Rain is just an absolutely perfect film.
There's
nothing wrong with it. It's amazing. We need to watch it.
I'm going to watch Singin' in the Rain eventually, but La La Land, I will admit, is an excellent musical. But I still think that Little Shop of Horrors is better.
Yeah, I understand, especially because you like horror, and it's just.
Well, I just like
it's just so entertaining.
It's so quirky and it's just odd, and everything's so weird. And the music is so memorable. Like all the songs. Like,
the guy at the very beginning. What a strange and unusual plant. Where did you get it?
Yeah.
I love him so much.
I would like to buy $50 worth of roses. Can you break 100?
No.
Well, I guess I'll have to buy twice as many. It's just
the way he talks.
The way he delivers the lines is just so perfect.
The credits listed him as one of the cameos, like along with like Bill Murray and John Candy and what's his name, Steve Martin, who is
not really a cameo. He's an actual character in it, at least.
Well, he's
the best
cameo.
part of the whole movie.
Yeah, not the best part.
Well,
the best part is
the plant.
Yeah, Levi Stubbs of the Four Tops as Audrey 2.
Audrey 2 is the.
I have not.
Best.
I meant to listen to that. It's a like Motown blues quartet of 4.
I just like the movie. I don't know what you're on about.
Well, it's the
guy
who plays Audrey 2 is from.
Oh, okay.
If you haven't seen the movie, should we do a quick? We're gonna go into. Should we go into spoilers for this?
There will be spoilers for this movie.
But you should, even if you haven't seen the movie and you want to listen to this, you could still listen to this and then watch the movie and still have a great time.
Yeah, it's still an entertaining film either way.
Even if you know the ending.
Personal recommendation: if you plan on watching the movie, look for the director's cut.
Oh yes,
it is a massive improvement over the theatrical cut.
Yeah. How did they what was it, or why is there a difference between the theatrical cut and the director's cut?
Well, it's
I know this, but
if you're familiar with what happened with Blade Runner, it's almost identical in the fact that it's they show a screening of the director's cut to a small screening to people is like a test screening.
Like the producers mainly.
Well, yeah, producers and just I guess people. I've never been to a test screening. I don't think I probably ever will be, but it's kind of the idea.
Awesome, though.
We just have to talk good about every movie, specifically Marvel movies, and eventually they'll pay us to go see them.
I don't think they'll pay us, but
pay us, fly us out there, give us free stuff. Yeah. I think it's about the same thing. So I've lost my train of thought. Anyways, Blade Runner. So it's pretty much like Blade Runner. So they do a test screening. The ending, I'm not gonna. Anyway, spoilers. Big spoilers. The ending to the director's cut is not a happy ending, and apparently that got to people. Frank Oz stated it as, it's a little bit like when you see the characters that you love die, you don't then have a curtain call at the end where you see everyone bow and you see that the actors are okay. At the end of the movie, it ends. There's the credits. So that's how he put it. I don't know. I think it's just people just don't like sad stuff. People like a good happy film. I don't know. I prefer the director's cut.
I like happy endings, but I'm also if the sad ending actually means something, like if it's not just like, oh, everyone died because we couldn't figure out an actual ending to the story, then it's frustrating.
Would you have any examples?
I haven't read this book or seen this movie, so I don't know if this works. I shouldn't use that as an example. I was going to use Allegiant, the third Divergent book. The main character.
Surprisingly enough, I have
Spoiler alert: the main character dies in that. In the last movie.
Oh my gosh, I saw the first two of those movies.
Yeah, they were bad.
They're bad.
Actually, no. The first one wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. The second one,
they were bad.
Was really bad.
And Miles Teller was not good either, right? If I remember.
I don't even remember. I just remember enjoying the first movie and then being really, really weirded out by the second one.
Did they make a third one?
They did make a third one, and it was supposed to be. They did what they do with all those young adult movies, where they split the last book into two movies.
Yeah, I didn't see those last two.
They didn't call it Allegiant Part 1. They called it just Allegiant, and they were going to call the next one, like, Ascendant or something. I don't know why I know all this stuff. I didn't even like these movies.
I just saw it, too, because when my family was watching it, I sat down.
But it bombed so hard that they canceled all plans to make the last movie.
I think I'm okay with that. I think I can live with that.
And they were talking about maybe doing a season of a TV show to do the finale of the story, or just like a made-for-TV movie.
It still didn't happen.
None of the actors were going to come back because they're just like, I don't care about this. I don't want to do this.
Career's already dead now. Why should we come back for another one?
The actors in that were actually good. Like Miles Teller, he's phenomenal in Whiplash.
Well, yeah,
and
Whiplash.
I've heard he's in another movie with Shailene Woodley, who plays
Fantastic Four.
No.
Oh, my mistake.
That excuse you. That's called Fant4stick.
Yes, you are correct. It is Fant4stick.
I'm never gonna watch that movie.
You haven't seen it?
No.
I saw it in theaters.
I am so sorry.
With my extended family as well, like whole family and extended family, and every single person in that theater, people that weren't even in my family, people are just there. Everyone walked out feeling like this was terrible. I've never been in a theater with that depressed of an audience afterwards. Like everyone felt like they wasted their money.
The thing that frustrates me so much about those movies.
The thing in the Fantastic Four?
No.
The Rock too? Win that movie as well? Just sorry to take
I didn't like the way he looked. I loved the cheesiness and weirdness of the first two Fantastic Four movies.
Which makes me want to see the Roger Corman one. The abandoned one, yeah.
But I love the way the Thing looked in that. He looked very comic book accurate. He was very cheesy and blocky and very orange.
Not like the Fant4stick.
No, they tried to make it gritty and realistic, and it was just bad.
What I was gonna say is, in the Fant4stick, you know how the Thing's line is, it's clobbering time. Mm-hmm. He gets that because his older brother bullies him.
Yeah,
his brother would say that before he beats him up. Yeah. If that isn't classic Marvel, just like every other Marvel movie. You know, all those happy jokes and like, you know, Avengers Infinity War and all the happy stuff in that, excluding the ending of that. But but then we have it's clobbering. I don't know.
Anyway, what frustrates me most and what I hope Marvel does better
is that there's 3 Fantastic Fours.
No. Shut up. I'm trying to finish this. What I hope Marvel does better in when they own Fox and they incorporate Fantastic Four and those villains into the Marvel universe.
Yep. Is we're going to get a 4th remake?
Yes, but...
Well, actually, 3rd remake, because the original won't be the original. Improper English. I corrected myself.
Jack, this is why no one likes you.
Well, clearly you invited me to be on this podcast, so somebody out there likes me.
I'm sorry, that was so mean. Anyway, dang it, no. They did Doctor Doom.
No, wait, no, stop.
What?
You're right. Nobody does like me. You're right.
Let's not get into that.
That'll be another episode. We can talk about that all during another episode.
I'm pretty sure your parents like you. I think.
They tolerate me.
I know if my family likes you. You spent like, if my family didn't like you, then they would not be happy that you spent like half a week at my house.
Yeah, your family loves me.
Yeah.
I think I heard your dad say, "Man, I wish I could trade him." Obviously, that was a bit harsh, but I think it's fair. After you saying that nobody likes me, I think it's fair that I say that. Okay. Anyways, we should probably actually talk about the movie we're going to talk about.
I want to finish this one thought that you... This is the reason we've been going on for 5 minutes about this, is because you won't let me finish this one thought.
I hope this is entertaining for you guys. I really hope that
we're having fun. I hope that is contagious to you guys.
Well, speak for yourself. I have tons of better things to be doing.
You can leave if you want to, Jack.
I could be outside reading a nice book. I could...
They did Doctor Doom so dirty in all 3 of those movies.
He's all right in the 3rd one, in the Fan Four Stick. That's like the only decent thing in Fan Four Stick.
But he just looks terrible.
Yeah, but there's actually a scene where he like makes people's heads explode and stuff, and it's like, it's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
It's not very Marvel-like, but it's kind of cool.
But he's not... He's such a cool character in the comics, and the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon, that's a great show, and he's so cool in that. They don't use him nearly enough, which is frustrating. But the thing with Doctor Doom is, in the comics, he's one of the smartest scientists on the planet, and one of the most powerful sorcerers on the planet, both at the same time, and he is sole dictator of his own country on an island. Latveria, yeah.
I don't know how I know that. I've read like maybe 2 comics in my life.
Yeah.
And both of them were Transformer comics. So. Yeah.
And he's so cool. And he's actually like, he's not a good guy, and he's definitely a dictator, but he's in most stories, he's actually like a fair leader. Like, the people of his country actually like him. And he cares about his people in his country. Basically,
you learned all of this from Watch Mojo, right? Tons of top 10 supervillains, right?
Basically, he's just like, don't screw with my country or my people or me, and I'm just gonna try to one-up Reed Richards for the rest of my life and run my country, and I won't mess with you. And so because of that,
do you know what always confused me? Is when, like, Captain America Winter Soldier, there's that scene in that where there's the guy who gets his brain put into the computer. Mm-hmm. Why didn't he just flame up and fly out of there?
That's such a dumb joke.
But it got you to chuckle a little, so it's fine. I'm satisfied.
Chris Evans in those movies is fantastic. Like, Chris Evans in general is just fantastic.
Yeah, if a recommendation, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, he plays an evil skater. That's brilliant.
I haven't seen that. I really want to, though.
Another podcast episode.
Yeah.
We have so many.
Anyway, we should stop talking about Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's almost like we have 1,154 movies to watch for our podcast.
We spent 10 minutes talking about Fantastic Four when we have an entirely different movie we're supposed to be talking about. How did we even get on this?
I'm satisfied with that. I don't mind talking about just about anything. I know people out there who clicked on this video because they thought they read Little Shop of Horrors are pretty annoyed.
Is this going to be a video or should we do like just a black screen, and have the audio on YouTube, or should we have like some kind of?
You're the one who does the editing.
I don't know.
Your choice. If I told you should get somebody like one of the people you know that draw really well. You should get them to draw something that's like a background for the videos.
That's a good idea. I might have my sister draw.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Draw.
Yeah,
anyway, we'll figure that out later.
Draw a dinosaur for the back of it.
That is an off-air conversation. That is not important right now.
That'll
anyway,
get cut anyway, so it's fine.
I mean, why would I cut that? It's not
because it's pointless. Just like most of this Fantastic Four discussion's probably gonna get cut.
I mean, I'm barely gonna cut anything from the last episode.
All I'm saying, guys, if you are looking for Little Shop of Horrors talk, you might want to skip around. Maybe we'll put a little time code I'll put a time code in the description saying this is where we actually talk about the movie it's titled for.
Yeah,
guys.
I'll put like a little I'll record a little disclaimer before the thing, and I'll put it at the beginning.
I mean, if you're here just to listen to us talk, it's a bit creepy, but also thank you.
No, that's my favorite podcast. Nothing But Static. They're very vulgar, but they're very entertaining. But most of their podcast is made up of just like tangents of them just talking about stuff, and it's really entertaining.
Huh.
And you kind of get to know them as people really well because of just their conversations. And that's kind of what I want to replicate, like that kind of format for this is just like us talking, and having a movie as a framework for that conversation.
Well, don't worry, we'll eventually get to Little Shop of Horrors, but it's really just us being pretty casual here. We're not very serious about anything.
That said, let's get to Little Shop of Horrors right now because it's a phenomenal movie.
You don't have anything else to talk about for Fantastic Four? Nothing else to add?
I have a lot of things to say about that, but
I'm sure we can do like all the movies in one podcast or like over 2 podcasts or something.
Yeah,
anyone would want to listen to us talk about.
We should talk about those 3, what they did wrong, and what Marvel could do with them better in the future. Like, how
about just not make another one?
My hope is that Doctor Doom becomes the Thanos of the next several years of Marvel movies because he's such a great character. He's such a cool villain. And his name is actually Doctor Doom.
But then like they could have
his name is Victor Von Doom. How cool is that?
It's pretty cheesy to be honest.
It's super cheesy, but it's also,
not really cool. It's just kind of cheesy.
It is kind of cheesy.
But I'm sure if they did that, they could make 40 films, and then they right before the last one, they could have another film about some random new character that goes and punches Doctor Doom once, and then it ends, right?
You're talking about Captain Marvel.
Which
Are you
saying
that's what's going to happen in Endgame?
It's probably going to happen. I trust the writers that won't happen, but it's probably gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, just so we know, I haven't seen Captain Marvel. No thoughts on it. No opinions yet. No reason that I won't see it. I will see it. We don't talk politics on this podcast. Simple as that. I know there is political discussion around that movie. That is not what I'm going for. Just talking about how
the politics surrounding that movie are. So
I think
ridiculous.
Everyone would agree that if that were to happen, that Captain Marvel just shows up and punches Thanos and it ends.
That would be so bad.
I'm pretty sure everyone would be disappointed.
That'd be terrible.
Politics or not, that would just be stupid.
Anyway, Little Shop of Horrors is phenomenal. It's a movie from 1986. It's a remake of. Did you just check me on that?
Yes,
Is that really that important? If I was wrong on that?
Yes, it is important. I do think it is important.
It's directed by Frank Oz, who is.
I am a big fan of. He's done quite a few films I like.
He's most famous for playing Yoda in the original Star Wars trilogy and in.
Yeah, he is a small green man. No, he's a puppeteer. He's
a puppeteer and a voice actor. He did a lot of work with Jim Henson, the creator of the Muppets.
He co-directed The Dark Crystal, which
with
is
Jim Henson.
Another episode we will do.
I really want to see that movie.
It's
supposed to be super weird, like this movie.
One of the best children's films, like in general.
Awesome.
He directed Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, another great comedy we'll watch.
Doesn't that have Steve Martin in it?
Steve Martin, yep.
I love Steve Martin. I've only seen him in this and Cheaper by the Dozen.
Which is another masterpiece of a film.
I do like the first one. The second one is so ridiculously stupid and pointless.
I forgot there was a second one.
It's so
Why
bad.
is there a second one?
I don't know.
Is Steve Martin even in the second one?
He is in the second one.
Huh.
All the actors reprise their roles.
Huh.
Yeah, it's bad.
He also directed What About Bob, which has Bill Murray in it, which is another great comedy.
I love Bill Murray in this movie. Mm-hmm. Should we recap the movie and then talk about it after that?
I just want to go. And then he also directed In and Out, which is another movie I've seen and I really like. He directed the remake of The Stepford Wives, which I have not seen.
Is this that important to go through his filmography, or should
I
we
just
talk
like
about the movie
I just like
itself?
talking about Frank Oz because I like Frank Oz a lot.
Yeah, Frank Oz is
and I wanted to talk about the remake of The Stepford Wives, which exists for some reason.
Have you seen the original Stepford Wives?
I have seen the original.
Is it good?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's a movie. There's some good scenes in it. There's some dumb scenes in it. The ending's cool.
Cool. All right.
That's about it. I don't.
This is your favorite musical, so I will let you.
I just want to preface it by saying I have not seen very many musicals. I've seen maybe 5 or 6 in my entire life. I like musicals. I'm willing to watch more since Joel, my friend sitting across from me, really likes them. They're like his favorite thing. So, but anyways, Little Shop of Horrors is perfect. It is a movie that when I think about, there's nothing I can think that I would change. And there's nothing I can think about that I would like to take out.
Unless you're thinking about the theatrical cut.
Yeah,
I mean, even then, it's still a solid. It's still a solid ending.
I agree. The theatrical cut's a lot more. We'll get to that.
It's more palatable for a general audience. It's still a solid ending. It still works. It's not as good as the director's cut.
But we'll get to that once we get to the actual end of the movie. So the movie opens with Rick Moranis, the guy from Ghostbusters, who plays
Lewis,
the
guy who's always trying to get Sigourney Weaver to
come to his parties and stuff, and he turns into a dog at the end.
Yeah. It was a weird movie.
Ghostbusters is a masterpiece. Okay,
it's good. I enjoyed it. I don't understand why people are so fascinated with it.
You were on your phone half of it, Joel, and you fell asleep. You fell asleep twice during it.
Did I?
You missed 3 scenes.
Did I?
Yes.
I need to rewatch that. I need to get in the habit of just putting my phone in the next room while watching a movie, and also drinking 2 cups of
recreating the scene from Clockwork Orange where they tape you down and hold open your eyelids to make you watch. Anyways, moving on back to the movie. We've gone off topic so many times. Sorry, guys. Hey, I'm having fun. Mm-hmm. I thought this would be the worst day of my life, but it's all right.
Anyway, what were you saying?
So, Little Shop of Horrors opens with Rick Moranis. He works at a small plant shop. Which gets no business in a small Skid Row, right?
Yeah, Skid Row. And, downtown.
Where the streets at? I don't know if we actually can sing that. Well, let's not sing because you never know. We might get copyright claim for that.
Oh yeah,
because YouTube
that would be terrible.
Just for those 2 seconds, yeah. Who knows with YouTube? So I won't even try it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it opens with a musical number, which is very memorable. On the
23rd day of the month of September.
And then there's that cool transition where the guy throws a bottle in the water and it makes so it's not actually space, it's just dirty water. Careful, we're infringing on copyright right now.
Little shop of horrors. It opens with that song, which is one of the second best opening to a musical song I've ever seen.
It's very not exactly abrupt, but it's just such a great, exciting opening. I guess
it's so good. Yeah. I love it. And those 3 girls who sing that, they show up periodically throughout the movie, and they're fantastic.
They're constantly. They're actually in the backgrounds of every song. Even the dentist one, they're even in the background and full on
What did she say? She said, "My boy, I think someday you'll find a way."
I apologize.
Natural tendencies pay.
Sadly, I'm not allowed to hit my co-host as much as I'd like to.
I mean, you can, but I wouldn't suggest it.
Is that a threat, boy?
Find out for yourself. Hit me. I dare you. Boy!
But don't worry, guys. There's nothing happened. There was no violence. We do not believe in violence on this podcast. Only musicals and Fantastic Four. Okay.
Oh my gosh, just a superhero musical.
Oh my gosh.
Deadpool musical. It needs to happen.
So, anyways, Little Shop of Horrors opens with a musical number, a great musical number, and it goes on. There's a plant, and then there's stuff, and then people get eaten, and then Steve Martin's there, and then it ends.
Deadpool musical.
Oh my gosh.
It's a parody of Singing in the Rain, and the movie is about him trying to get a musical about himself made. Because that's what Singing in the Rain is about. It's about them trying to make the first musical ever put to film. It's right after.
Is that kind of how La La Land ends with like the lady and she makes like her own life story or something? Or is that
a little bit?
Bit. Like she sort of starts talking.
But how amazing would that be? Oh my gosh.
I probably wouldn't see it.
I would love that so much. You haven't seen the first two Deadpool. You haven't seen either of the Deadpool movies.
No, those are actually the only Marvel movies I think I haven't seen. I've surprisingly seen quite a few.
The first one is great. I haven't seen any...
well, I also haven't seen Daredevil, which I want to see the Daredevil movie.
Apparently that's not
and my favorite,
especially compared to some other really terrible superhero movies like Catwoman and Elektra and Ghost Rider.
I really want to see Ghost Rider 1 and 2.
But apparently the 2003 Daredevil is not terrible.
I know there's a director's cut. That was recent, I think. Huh. I'm not a big superhero fan, but Daredevil is my favorite superhero.
Daredevil is a pretty great superhero. Speaking of director's cuts, that happened long after
Little Shop of Horrors. Back to Little Shop of Horrors, guys. Anyways, what were you saying?
So the guy Richard Donner, the guy who directed the first two the original Superman movies, he was able to go back and recut.
There's like four cuts of Superman 2, right?
He was able to recut his version of Superman 2, and so there's a petition going around on Twitter for Sam Raimi to go back and recut Spider-Man 3. Because even Sam Raimi, for those who don't know, he directed all the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire, which Jack and I both grew up with.
Yeah,
and you probably did too if you're around our age.
I love all three, but I still do not accept the third one as a good movie.
The third one, it's possible for the third one to be a good movie.
Sure, if they cut out like two of the villains.
The story between Peter and Harry still works.
Well, except for the part where he like hits his head and then forgets everything, which is possibly one of the dumbest plot devices ever.
I don't remember that. I haven't seen that movie in like...
There's that great scene where Peter Parker's going after the ring because he loses the ring.
So anyway, Spider-Man 3 was my favorite movie as a kid. I'm never rewatching it because I don't want to ruin that memory. What was your favorite part of Little Shop of Horrors? And
back to the thing we're supposed to be talking about.
Exactly.
What's my favorite part? Well, it's pretty easy that... Well, now I can't decide. It's pretty easy that I can't decide. It's either every scene with Steve Martin, every single one.
Especially the dentist song.
Or the Feed Me song. The Feed Me song is so
Feed
good.
me.
Yeah.
Feed me.
We can't sing it, Joel. We can't sing. I want to.
It's so good, though. And it's so much fun to sing.
I really
wish
I could sing. Like, I want to sing, too. I love those songs. I don't sing well, but I'd still sing them. Because I love those. But I don't want to lose our podcast on this first episode.
I do prefer... Feed Me is a great song, but I do prefer Mean Green Mother from Outer Space.
It's so good too.
It's so good. Especially in the director's cut after he's eaten Audrey. Which I don't know if this is intentional, but there might be some kind of symbolism in Audrey 2 eating Audrey. Is there? Is that... I mean...
Maybe.
It's just a thing that I noticed. I don't know if there's any I just thought that was an interesting coincidence.
Yeah, I also noticed some symbolism in when the dentist was being an awful dentist, and I was like, I understand. I felt that too every time I go on a dentist. Yeah. Dentists are terrible. If you're a dentist and you're listening to this, I hope you get a patient just like Bill Murray.
Oh my gosh. Can we please talk about every single frame with Bill Murray in it? Because that was
I think we might run out of stuff then. I don't know about that. Like, I love Bill Murray's scene, but that's a bit much.
Oh my gosh.
I mean...
It's like... forget Groundhog Day, forget Ghostbusters, forget Garfield 2, A Tale of Two Kitties. This is
I thought it was two kittens.
It's two kitties
I thought it was two kittens.
because it's a parody of A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens.
Then why is it called A Tale of Two Kittens?
It's called A Tale of Two Kitties.
I'm looking this up, guys. This is important.
I am 100. I will bet you 1,000. I'm not going to say that because if I'm wrong, I will be
I haven't
short
looked it up yet.
$1,000.
Okay, but I bet you.
An amount of money.
Put in the comments what I should bet.
I bet you an amount of money that it is Garfield 2, A Tale of Two Kitties.
That either is less or even to the amount of money that I'm not willing to bet. You're right. It's A Tale of Two Kitties.
Yes, I should have bet $1,000.
I wouldn't have accepted that.
Anyway, forget all of those. This is Bill Murray's greatest role.
He's pretty great in Stripes.
I'm exaggerating. The fact that I brought up Garfield 2 was supposed to show the sarcasm.
What? No, you're talking about Ghostbusters, and I was saying he's also really good in Stripes as well, which is another great performance of his.
Okay.
And now you're talking about Tale of Two Kitties.
You're just steamrolling my joke.
Well, because you're talking about Tale of Two Kitties. Nobody wants to talk about Garfield 2, man. Like, we've already lost...
It's a masterpiece of cinema.
Our 3 viewers, we already lost 2 of them because we started talking about Garfield 2.
Who's the one viewer left, Jack?
Me. I'm listening to you talk. That's the one viewer. And no, I'm going to leave if we keep on talking about Garfield 2.
All right. Bill Murray is absolutely phenomenal.
He is excellent in this film. He just... what's the...
weird gay masochist.
Masochist, that's the word I was looking for, yeah.
It's so bizarre. I love it.
I don't know if the gay part just happens that he likes dentists.
Yeah,
I mean...
That's fair. Anyway, so we've spent a lot of time just kind of like praising this movie.
Well, that's why we kind of gone around to other things as well. We kind of talked about it a lot because there's not it's a, in my opinion at least, it's a perfect movie.
Let's talk about what makes it perfect because I don't want to go like the last episode. I haven't finished editing it yet.
And we didn't really go into depth.
But it was.
I can't say that word. I never can say that word. I did the same thing last episode. But we didn't really go into any of the films we talked about. We just praised them constantly. Yeah. That's not something I really want to do.
Yeah,
I want to talk about.
I want to talk about.
I guess a good way of talking about how great this podcast. But
anyway, I don't want to. What I'm saying is I don't want to go too long. So I want to.
I almost said how great is this podcast. I meant to say the reason to talk about how great this movie is compared to another musical, which this might get cut because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about.
No, it's fine.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
Jack and I watched The Greatest Showman last night.
Right before we watched Little Shop of Horrors, which I had never seen before. Little Shop of Horrors.
We'd never seen
Greatest Showman.
He had never seen Greatest Showman before.
Yep.
I had. I was not impressed with it.
We were impressed technically.
Yeah,
because everything technical about that movie, the choreography, the cinematography, the set design,
the editing.
Well, most of the editing. There's a few small things that kind of bother me. But
the acting and the singing are both great.
Excellent. Everything that's technical in that movie is excellent. But we're talking about
the costume design too, like all of the set design, costume design, all that.
The thing is,
it's a well-made movie. I really want to see what the director does next. He's set to direct some anime movies or something, which is interesting.
Huh.
His name is Michael Gracie, if you want to check him out.
So you'll see that, right? Because you're a big fan of anime.
I've never seen an anime, although there are a few that I want to see. We'll talk about that another day.
What's with that pillow you have then, Joel?
Shh.
Oh. If Joel's girlfriend is listening to this, he does not have a body pillow. He has multiple.
I hope most people don't get that because that is just... I hate that exists. It's so gross and weird. I don't like it.
Really? Because you really like that centaur one.
I do like the shape of it. I just hate...
Oh my gosh.
No.
The best way to start. I love the shape of this centaur body pillow. it's just so
like
huggable, you know.
A giant L-shaped pillow. That just seems like a great thing. Just if you take the weird anime centaur thing off of it. I don't want to see the picture. I just want the shape of the massive pillow.
Yeah, sure, Joel.
Jack, shut up.
That's why you own one. Disclaimer: he does not actually own one. I'm just embarrassing him because it's easy.
We do not own any.
Well, of course I don't. I'm a cool guy. I don't own stuff like that.
Neither of us own any kind of anything with pictures of weird anime girls on them.
Well, not specifically. I actually do own Death Note on Blu-ray.
Disclaimer. That doesn't have like anime girls on it though. It has like
actually. I think when you open up the case, there's one of the anime girls from it on it on the back, but that's not intentionally. I didn't buy it because of that. I bought it because the Death Note series is like not even an anime; it's just an excellent television show.
I mean, it is an anime, but it's good. I do want to see it.
It's also a Netflix adaptation. Nothing needs to be said on that. Anyone who's seen it knows it's not good.
Anyone who's not seen it knows it's not good.
Pretty much,
just terrible. It's whitewashed and has just bad everything. It's terrible. I hate it.
Well, it is set in America, so of course it's got Americans in it.
Well, yeah, but it's a Japanese thing. It should be set in Japan, and it should have Japanese actors.
Yes, but
it shouldn't be whitewashed.
All I'm saying is it's set in America, so it makes sense that there's Americans in it.
Also,
if it was set in Japan,
Americans are of every color. Why?
You're right. Yes.
Like, I mean, it is true. The majority of Americans are Caucasian, but there is a great deal of diversity.
I agree, and I saw like the first 20 minutes of it, and it's bad either way.
I just hate it.
Whitewashed or not, it's the story itself is badly made. Apologies, I think I burped a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway,
don't edit that out. That's staying in. Okay. Anyways,
I'm not gonna edit most of this out. I'm gonna edit as much as possible.
I'm sorry, guys.
I don't know what I've that political thing.
Thank you, because there was a bit of a discussion before I got cut out. That was a little bit political. That maybe we shouldn't have done.
It wasn't even political. It was just like a joke that I made.
That wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny, and it was unnecessary.
Anyways, guys, I assure you guys, we do not want to talk about politics on this podcast, even jokingly.
That goes without saying.
It's just,
anyway, we should talk about the movie because we're running out of time.
We got plenty of time. We can go on for hours and hours. And hours.
It's got to stay the length of your dad's commute. That's the rule for all podcasts.
So, like 3 minutes?
Whatever. Anyway, about, like 30 minutes to an hour.
That's getting cut.
30 minutes to an hour is a good length for a podcast.
So, Mean Green Mother from Outer Space is the first Oscar-nominated song to contain profanity.
That's awesome. I didn't know it was nominated, and I didn't know that about it. That's really cool.
So it's a great song.
Yeah, that is a fantastic song. I was so surprised to find out that there are no T-shirts that say with Audrey 2 on them that say I'm just a mean green mother from outer space.
I think that'd be, even though I love that movie, it's one of my top 4. I don't think I'd wear that in public.
Oh, I would absolutely wear that in public.
Maybe a baseball cap.
I told my sister, who is a really good artist, and if it's done before any of this goes up, you've probably seen some of her art across our social media and stuff.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
If she does good enough.
She wants to be involved in this and draw some stuff for our podcast.
Yep.
I
would love to have Audrey 2 on a hat and just be able to wear that. That'd be cool. Like a green hat with. Well, actually, I don't know if that'd work.
Anyway,
you get the idea.
I told her that all I want for my birthday later this year is a T-shirt designed by her with that just says "I'm just a mean green mother from outer space." Because
either that or it could be like a red hat with Audrey 2 right up here, and then below it says "Make movies great again."
That is a political.
But the thing is, it doesn't
funny.
state any opinions, though.
Exactly.
That's why it's okay. It's just saying a thing. I am okay with that one.
Yeah.
Now we just explained our own joke. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill Murray's scene in the waiting room. If you can't tell, I'm reading off of IMDb, guys. Okay. This isn't me.
That's fine.
Just because I had to look up something that we could at least do something informative here. Bill Murray's scene, the masochist in the dentist's office, in the waiting room was filmed as scripted, but there was virtually no written dialogue when his character got into the dentist chair, except for ecstatic cries of pleasure over the course of the 2 days that he filmed. Murray kept riffing various ad-libs, which presented a challenge for the editor to assemble a coherent version of the scene. That
candy
is
bar,
kind of amazing.
candy bar, candy bar.
It's kind of amazing, just like all those lines are great, and to know they were all ad-libbed is like awesome. I feel bad for the editor because then he had to like fit it all together. But
yeah, but I mean,
everything about that is great.
That would be a fun challenge to try to like figure that out because like if the editor's good at his job and enjoys his job, then he'd probably enjoy a challenge like that. But yeah, that's a great scene. And I did not know that Bill Murray's lines were ad-libbed. It doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know it. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I just looked it up now.
Yeah.
So, who else is excited for the Little Shop of Horrors remake, where they'll have Audrey 2 be CGI?
Ugh.
That's not. I don't know if that's true, but it's going to happen. Like, it's not. Nothing's been said about that, but it's gonna happen.
As long as Frank Oz is still alive,
I wish that were the case, but it's still gonna be CGI, man.
That will happen over his dying
It's gonna
body.
be. If anyone knows the story of the Thing remake, it's the Thing remake. It's a second remake, the 2011 version. What happened was they made like real like props and special effects and stuff for the whole film. It was they spent months and months making all these cool effects where like the monster, the alien thing would turn into all these different creatures, and it was all practical. Thing is, one of the producers or the director went, it looks a bit too 80s. Let's replace it all with terrible CGI. So that's what happened. Sorry guys that I'm the only one talking, but Joel is texting people.
I'm looking up stuff about the Little Shop of Horrors remake.
Okay.
And the only person at least on Letterboxd, let me look it up.
Yeah, the Thing remake is a massive disappointment that they took all the practical effects out and they replaced it with cheap looking CGI that looks worse than Jurassic Park from the 1990s. I think it was. Jurassic Park is 1990s, right?
Yeah, 1995. I think.
I was gonna say it's good. It's good CGI.
Fantastic movie.
I'm trying to think. What year did the last Starfighter? No. The remake is looking at having Josh Gad and Rebel Wilson play Seymour and Audrey, which who?
Josh Gad played Olaf in Frozen, and he was in the Beauty and the Beast remake. He was the fat gay guy.
I don't remember him.
He was.
You're gonna have to cut out the part where you say gay.
I mean, it's
not
a bad thing.
Well, now this is getting cut. What I just said. Please do cut that because that was a weird comment of mine. I don't know why I said that.
Greg Berlanti is supposed to be directing it, who is the runner of all the CW DC shows.
We're getting a little bit off topic again, guys. Sorry.
Ugh. So just everything about this makes me so mad.
The thing is, at least we will always have the remake.
Yeah.
The first remake.
The original remake. That is a remake of
in case you didn't know,
the bad Roger Corman.
There's a Roger Corman film from the 1960s under the same title with a very similar story.
It's the same story.
I've seen it. It's very odd. It is still a comedy. It's got a very strange sense of humor though, and it's
not a musical though, right?
No, it is not. And
but then it was made into a Broadway musical, which was then made into a movie, which is
the most annoying part is on every copy of the Little Shop of Horrors original from 1960, Jack Nicholson is emblazed on every single box, even though
because he plays Bill Murray's character. Right?
Yeah, so he gets like one scene in the whole film, and he gets his name on every single box.
It's like those terrible Bruce Willis, those terrible movies like that go straight to Redbox that have Bruce Willis in like one scene or an actor like that. And they say starring Bruce Willis, and he's like all over the.
Yeah, there's some film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, it didn't have Arnold Schwarzenegger that me and my dad were sitting down to watch, and we're like, "Oh, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's on the front." I can't recall the title, but then like it was this weird comedy that wasn't even funny, and like we got about an hour and a half in, Arnold Schwarzenegger's never showed up, and it's like we clicked on this movie because Arnold Schwarzenegger was on it, and he never showed up, and it was sad to say the least.
Weird.
Anyways, it supposedly took Steve Martin 6 weeks to film all his scenes. He contributed ideas such as socking the nurse in the face, which is great. I'm very satisfied with that.
You have a knack for causing things pain.
Yeah, he punches the nurse.
Oh, that's great. Stop touching my feet. I'm not playing footsie with you, Jack.
In case you guys think, just actually never. Yes.
Just stop.
I was licking Joel's toes a second ago. Apparently he doesn't like it. I don't know why.
Oh dear. The guy who's set to write the Little Shop of Horrors remake, wrote Monster Trucks and wrote and directed the terrible what's his name? Ricky Gervais movie, The Invention of Lying. That's supposed to.
Huh. All I know is Monster Trucks is a hit. Classic.
He's also set to write the sequel to
Trucks.
Live Die Repeat, which is a great movie.
Oh yeah, Live Die Repeat is really good.
Yeah,
and so is Monster Trucks.
No.
But then, wrong. Like, the monster gets in the truck, and then it drives the truck for him.
Just stop.
It's like another E.T.
I actually haven't seen that. I want to see.
You haven't seen E.T.?
No.
Well, at least you've seen Lord of the Rings.
Yes, that's a masterpiece. Like, not
the only thing more disappointing in life is when you hear someone say, "I have not seen Lord of the Rings."
Oh my gosh!
It's right up there with your girlfriend telling you that she likes FNAF. Or Friday night, Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, that's the same kind of disappointment.
But says it as FNAF.
Oh, or she likes to talk. Yeah, it's the same thing as, like, there's 3 things in life that are depressing.
Only 3?
Losing a family member. Finding out your friend hasn't seen Lord of the Rings. And when your girlfriend tells you that Game Theory's Five Nights at Freddy videos are very deep and interesting. Those are the 3 biggest disappointments in life.
I'm embarrassed to admit that I've seen all of those, and I am so sorry for Matt Pat because he's trapped himself.
I don't feel sorry for him. He's making lots of money from that, and clearly he's satisfied with that.
He's putting so much effort into stuff that's so cringy, and he's making money from it. But
good for him, yeah.
Yeah,
I would sell my integrity for money. I say this, and then like 50 episodes from now, we're talking about how great the latest like Captain Marvel sequel is.
Yeah,
that will happen, guys. We will sell our integrity. Well, I will sell my integrity if I get a chance.
We do need to do a rewatch of all the Marvel movies. Not do individual episodes on them.
We have to do individual. I'm not talking about all of them in one. Oh, we're at our 10-minute mark, guys.
Yeah.
My boy.
This is the 10-minute warning. Is there anything else you would like to say about Little Shop of Horrors?
I did not actually lick his toes. That was a joke. I do not actually feel in any way that form of affection towards Joel. It's more the opposite. I kind of deal with him because I know one day this might make money. That's a joke. That's a joke, guys.
I do want to say something about the movie. I think it's interesting that most of the main characters don't have amazing singing voices. Like, they have
Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis. I can't say his
He's not a terrible singer. He's just not an amazing singer. I'm sure they didn't hire him for his singing voice. I'm sure they hired him for his acting,
which is fine by me. And I'm fine with his singing. It's not
his singing isn't terrible.
It's just there's like the one scene, Suddenly Seymour, which is brilliant. And when you hear the one. What was her name? The lady? Audrey.
Audrey, yeah.
Duh. Audrey starts singing. She has a beautiful singing voice.
Yeah.
Especially when she starts hitting those high notes.
Yeah.
Like, those are just...
I don't know, because she's in another TV show that I like called Pushing Daisies.
I have not seen.
But she's in that, and it plays a somewhat similar character, much weirder, but somewhat similar with kind of the same voice. So I think that's her actual voice.
Yes, don't worry. I think it's one of those 1,154 movies I need to see. Or shows.
I
don't mind her voice, actually.
Her voice isn't terrible, but I just wish...
We're talking about in the movie.
In the movie, it seems like it's a little bit exaggerated.
Which helps, I think, especially in the Suddenly Seymour song. When she starts singing, it's such a change, and it helps to emphasize how...
And she has a fantastic singing voice.
It really emphasizes it.
Yeah, it does emphasize it, but I wish there was more of her great singing voice.
I guess. But I don't mind it, because I think that's supposed to fit with the character that she plays in the movie, which is kind of...
It does fit. I just want to hear her singing voice more, really.
Yeah. Here's really another thing, guys. Completely off topic a little bit. We were sitting there watching the movie last night, and Joel goes, "You know what? You know who Jack reminds me of? He reminds me of Seymour from the movie." And I just looked over him and I said, "You just call me a pushover?" He's a total pushover in the film, right? You get what I'm saying, right?
I don't remember you saying that, and I don't see that in the movie either.
Seymour is a pushover. He ends up murdering people for the plant.
Yeah, but then eventually he stands up.
There's
for himself.
a line where he talks to the I keep on forgetting Audrey's name. I'm sorry, but Audrey. He talks to Audrey. And he's like, "You would want to see yourself in public with me?" It's like that's
in the theatrical cut. That's
in
not...
both cuts.
Is it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Oh,
the only thing is the ending is different. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, yeah. So
But
it's just like Jill saying that I'm the kind of person who would say things like that.
That's not what I was saying. I was saying you're kind of weird and awkward. And I admit I'm weird and awkward too.
Don't touch my knee.
I'm sorry.
Get your hand off my knee, Joel. What are you doing?
Disclaimer: I'm not putting my hand on his knee.
Not right now. Maybe later.
Jack, stop, please.
Maybe later.
You're making me uncomfortable.
Maybe later.
I don't like this. I was just saying, like, you're kind of weird and awkward.
Yeah, don't worry. Later, Joel, you, me, your Centaur body pillow, we can all hang out.
Please stop. I'm cutting that because that's...
No, it is not getting cut. I am proud of that.
That is... that makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that. Anyway, I was just saying, like, you're kind of awkward, but, like, you're a nice guy, and you're really, like, you're a good person. I don't know.
Are you hitting on me?
Jack, shut up. I have a girlfriend. Even if I was gay, I wouldn't want to date you.
Joel. Okay, now that's getting cut. Like, none of the other stuff is getting cut, but that's getting cut. Like, come on, man. We're not allowed to talk about that in our clean Christian podcast. That's a joke, guys. This is not a Christian podcast. It is a clean podcast.
Yes. And we are Christians, but this isn't a Christian podcast. Yeah.
I guess we've said
one thing.
Enough, we've said
one thing that made me really appreciate this movie more and bumped it up from a 9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 was watching a not well done musical beforehand, which is Greatest Showman, which is technically well done but has basically no story and no characters. And that frustrates me about it.
Yeah, it's a film that instead of having a story, it has events that simply happen.
Yeah, it's just like it's like a textbook about. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
we'll wrap this up.
We're trying to keep this pretty short.
Yeah,
sorry.
We don't want to go over an hour.
Of course, it's going to make no sense because we're going to have to cut out like half this podcast.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I'm pretty.
Yeah, there are only a few things that we need to cut.
I think this podcast. I'm satisfied with how this has gone.
Yeah. But it's basically like a textbook about P.T. Barnum's life.
Which doesn't make any sense, I guess, because you've explained to me. I wasn't familiar with P.T. Barnum, so Joel explained a little bit of him to me. But hey, you're actually going to be talking about that on a podcast.
Great.
This podcast called Film Rescue. Why don't you talk about that, Joel?
I will. I'm recording that episode next week. A week.
That's great, Joel. Let's talk about something. Go, you finish.
It's a great show. The guys who host it, I've talked to one of the guys on Twitter and via email, and he seems like a great guy. And it's
How old are you? Email, really?
Email is professional.
I mean,
I use that to actually book my spot on the show. But yeah, check that out. That should be going up sometime soon. And I'll be talking about Greatest Showman and how to fix that, and I'll be focusing on...
Which there really isn't much of a way to fix it anyways. So. Save it.
Well, I'm going to focus on a certain part of the story and a certain part of his life rather than telling about his whole life.
Yeah, which he can save for his eventual podcast, of course, that he does there.
Yeah.
So
check that out. It's called Film Rescue. It's on... They just started uploading videos to YouTube, and they're also on all the popular iTunes and Google Play and all that.
Yeah, and as of doing this, we actually haven't even put out the first episode. Well, episode 0, so we're...
Yeah, which is the
So we don't actually know if this is actually going to be successful yet. It won't be.
I mean, the first few episodes won't.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that.
But yeah, I'm going to finish editing that tonight and hopefully get it up by tomorrow morning.
Which will be Monday, right?
Yep, Monday.
Okay.
So the plan is to have episodes going out every other Monday.
Yep.
We'll try to do that as consistently as possible, and that will also help with iTunes and Google Play. They'll promote our stuff more if we're consistent. Even if it was only like once a month, there's a consistency.
Yep.
But yeah, every other week, about an hour-long podcast.
Relatively, yeah.
Yeah, relatively. And if we have a guest, we might go a little over or under if they're not as charismatic as the two of us.
That's okay. We can always just like, if ever like in the middle of a podcast, like a person leaves that's a guest, it's probably because they weren't charismatic enough. We'll just kick them out.
But yeah.
Which is what I tried to do last podcast to Joel, but he wouldn't leave.
Oh well. You were at my house, so you couldn't kick me out.
That was the issue. That's why I couldn't kick you out.
Anyway, so we've got about 30 seconds left. Is there anything else you want to say, Jay?
I guess I want to say that next podcast we're going to talk about. Sorry about this, guys. It's been pretty rambly, but
that's fine.
Next podcast we are going to do Eraserhead, the 1977 I think classic by David Lynch, which is one of my second favorite David Lynch film ever. The first is of course Blue Velvet. Yep. David Lynch is one of my favorite directors. Joel has never seen it, and I think he'll love it.
I don't think I've seen anything by David Lynch.
Yep.
So I'm excited.
I think you'll think you'll.
I also want to see Twin Peaks that he did.
I just want to see everything he's done. Yeah. Everything is great by him.
Yeah. All right, and I'm Joel. This is Jack.
I'm Jack Melvin. Signing off.
Follow us. Not signing off yet. Follow us. At No Mustard Pod.
Joel, we signed off.
I almost called you by my little brother's name. Jack, shut up.
Am I that annoying?
Follow us at No Mustard Pod.
Cut that. That's kind of mean to Isaac.
Dude, chill. Stop.
Okay, just restart it. Restart all your selling points. Your plugs.
I'm Joel. This is Jack.
I'm Jack Melvin.
Follow us at No Mustard Pod on Instagram and Twitter. You can also follow me at JC Muri on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. You can follow Jack at rhombus_cruise on Letterboxd.
And then my Twitter's account's already attached to that.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll follow you on Twitter then, because I
don't.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. If you're not listening on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We should have. I want to have.
Yeah, please do subscribe. We need them. We need you.
I want to have a couple.
The goal
skits.
is to have as many as PewDiePie one day.
I don't think we'll ever get to 90 million, but maybe.
Well, PewDiePie did it. We can.
I have an idea for a skit based on Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know if it'll actually be made, but if it does, then you should see it on YouTube at some point.
Yeah, I guess
I'd love if you guys watch that.
I guess I'll star in that or something or whatever.
It'll be with both of us. And I think it'll be really fun.
Since I'm here, I kind of have to do the skits with them.
Yeah, you don't have a choice, Jack.
Technically, no.
Or else you're fired.
I mean, I'm getting paid for this, so.
You're getting paid?
I got free water.
I didn't pay for that water. I just
that's why I said free. I just said free.
But yeah, follow us on all that stuff.
Wait, did you steal
it? Of course, all this stuff will be in the description. You can click the links there.
And I'll make sure to update you guys next podcast on how much further I'm into my 1,154 movies. Who knows? Maybe I'll be all the way to 1,153. You never know.
I'm pretty sure you went backwards there. Was that? No,
I went down one.
Yeah.
And it would have been funny if I said 1,155.
The joke just didn't work. I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh well. Whatever.
That's not getting cut.
This has been No Mustard Allowed. We've had a great time talking about Little Shop of Horrors, and hopefully
he's been mustard and I've been not allowed.
What? Hopefully you've enjoyed listening to us as much as we've enjoyed talking to each other.
Speak for yourself.
Don't listen to Jack. He's just...
I'm just an angry old man. Get off my lawn.
Thanks. Tune in 2 weeks when we talk about Eraserhead, which has been Jack's
I've been talking about that film with Joel for a long time, and I'm really excited to watch it.
And hopefully after that, we might have a guest on.
If we can find someone who
there's already been somebody who's asked to be a guest, one of my friends.
Yep.
Let's see if he wants to do it then.
Yep. Christopher Nolan's going to be on next week. Next episode.
If you listen to last episode, you'll understand that joke.
Hopefully you follow chronologically and you watch the first one first. But
yeah, I mean, but if you don't, that's fine. Anyway, this has been No Mustard Allowed. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.